What is cloud computing? Let's take a few minutes and talk about what cloud computing really is and get an understanding so we're all on the same page when we talk about Amazon AWS and the cloud. So what is the cloud defined? Let's just define the cloud. So here is the definition I'll read to you, just so you get the proper definition. The practice of using a network of remote servers hosted on the internet to store and manage and process data. Okay, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. From a IT background, basically that means the same thing that has been the internet this entire time. That's not cloud, that is, the internet. You're using systems and servers on a network to access remote information. That's the internet. So it's not really just the cloud. It is the way the internet has worked since the beginning. But that's the actual definition of the cloud. So it's existed since the dawn of the internet. This is not just because of the cloud, but that's the definition that's out there for cloud. But in my opinion, it's become a marketing term because you really can't define this to the general public or in a marketing term without having some sort of a label on it. And that has become the cloud. But basically, this is the same thing that has existed on the internet since the beginning of the internet. So let's talk about a better definition for cloud computing. How about this? The on-demand delivery of compute power, database storage, applications, and IT resources with pay-as-you-go pricing. Now, you don't have to memorize that. You just let me break that down a little bit for you. On-demand delivery of compute power. Well, that's your server. That's your hosting server where your website lives. Database storage. Yeah, you have databases that are associated with your website and other pieces of online content and other applications, of course. Nothing too fancy there. With pay-as-you-go pricing. That's the important model. That's how things are changing when it comes to cloud. It's not a just pay one price and you get everything. It's you pay for what you use, which is a lot smarter business model and cost model than what you're traditionally used to. You're in control of the resources that you use. You're only going to pay for the stuff you use and use what you pay for. You're not paying one flat fee and this is what you get and that's all you get. If you need more, you get more and you pay for more. But you only pay for what you need and what you use. Your current host charges the same amount no matter what. Every month you get the same bill, same amount. But you can't increase that or decrease that depending on how much traffic you get. You pay the same price. And oh, by the way, if your current website is taking on too much traffic and taking too much of a resource load, your host will tell you need to upgrade to a bigger server or the next package, which costs more money, but it's always that cost. So as your needs and traffic for your website goes up and down, you still pay the same amount. Whereas with cloud computing, you pay for what you use. So if you only use a little bit, you only pay a little bit, and vice versa. If you use more, you pay for more. But the traditional way is just like the cable companies, that here's your cost, here's what you get. You can't choose, what if you don't want certain things or do want certain things, you pay a different amount. No, the cost is the cost. So that's one of the main differentiators with cloud computing. So bottom line, you get better quality resources for less money. So let's talk about cloud computing specifically with Amazon AWS. So we'll go into some of the cooler features and capabilities of AWS, but I can tell you now that you can do things with AWS that you can only dream of with your current host. If you are frustrated with your current host, just know that there is light at the end of the tunnel. There is a better solution for you with Amazon AWS. You can deploy your servers that you need, your content, your data closer to your customers. We're going to go over some of the locations that AWS is hosted, some of the places around the world, and you'll be amazed at just how close you can get to your customers anywhere in the world with Amazon AWS, and not just, hey, my host is here and everybody has to come to me, wherever that host is, to get to the data. No, you can start putting your data closer to your customers. You can host your data in multiple areas of the world simultaneously. If you've got customers in Asia and customers in Australia, well, you can put your data and your websites where they are. So they get a much better experience by getting access to your data and to the websites locally, instead of having to travel across the globe to get to your website. And you can ensure 100% reliability with Amazon AWS. The infrastructure that Amazon uses is much more robust than any hosting provider you could ever find online. If you've ever used Amazon's shopping experience, used anything with Amazon, you can understand just how robust their infrastructure is. And the same infrastructure they run Amazon.com on is the same infrastructure that you can host your website on with AWS. And it's very easy to scale up your business as your business grows, and you don't pay for anything you don't use. So that's all I had for this video. Just giving you an overview of what cloud computing is, so we have a mutual understanding. If you have any questions about this, anything that springs to mind, please feel free to drop a question in the Q&A section, and I'll be sure to answer it for you. And I'll see you in the next video.